When I was younger, the thought of going to the zoo or aquarium would excite me for weeks on end. I can remember 7-year-old me's dream job was to become an animal trainer for SeaWorld. The experience of just being that close to animals is an incredible encounter and would make me so ecstatic. But now, after hearing and learning all those terrible things that goes beyond those cages, the thought of going to SeaWorld disgusts me to my core. The last time I went to SeaWorld, which was a couple years ago, I remember waiting in line to get to the entrance, and there were a bunch of protesters. But at the time, I thought, how can someone be so against these amazing creatures? But little did I know how the tables were turned. These people were exposing the truth behind the company, but we were so occupied with trying to run a family vacation. SeaWorld and other institutions such as zoos, aquariums, and circuses all profit from our ignorance, while they mistreat these amazing animals. I chose a topic on animal captivity to show the heavier side of what goes on without our knowledge. From SeaWorld to the circus, there are animals suffering for the enjoyment of humans. They undergo terrible treatment and gruesome conditions in the entertainment industry. There has been study after study and case after case of the physical and mental effects captivity has on these animals. It is incarceration, and these creatures have no real escape. No matter how hard they try or what movies have taught us, they are stuck there. There are significant differences between animals raised in their natural habitats and animals raised with human care. Obviously, some institutions are better than others, but we'll get to that later. There are such drastic effects put onto these animals. According to Laura Agadoni, whales on average swim 100 miles a day, but when they're stuck in those tiny tanks, they don't even have the environment that allows them to do so. And it has been shown that animals are more aggressive when they're in captivity, being caged in. There's been no known reports of killer whales killing humans in any other setting besides captivity. And animals in captivity are half as likely to reproduce than animals in their natural habitat. There's so much stress put onto these animals that they can't even perform their basic instincts. For animals, we only give them the lowest possible amount for their needs. For the most part, these animals only ever get their psychological and safety needs met, and that's only if the places that they are at are responsible. And for a lot of animals used in the entertainment industry, their needs are just meant to keep them alive and hope for the best. At places like aquariums, their safety needs aren't even met, from enclosures being too small for the animal or not giving them the proper nutrients and materials that they need to survive. We are creating this terrible environment which these creatures are not accustomed to and expect them to live to their fullest potential. Animal captivity is an issue, and it has been an issue since the institution of zoos, from all the way back since ancient Egypt. The concept of animal captivity has been around since 1000 BC, when rulers would keep exotic animals for their own enjoyment. And public zoos started around the 19th century in popular cities around Europe. And the first zoo in the United States was opened up in 1874 in Philadelphia. And the main reason these institutions have been so popular is for their love for people's love of animals, but exactly that love that is causing them the harm. Joanne MacArthur, a Canadian photographer and animal rights activist, stated that people often refer to the love I have for animals. That's correct, but only partly so. I've also had a concern for animals. I've often felt sad for them. Seeing them displayed seems so awkward to me. Staring and being stared at. I know I'm not alone in this sentiment. It is an unnatural environment, but it is what we are used to and what we know. We think about our own self-interest and don't even register what these animals are going through. If you truly love animals, there are other organizations and places where you can witness animals up close in a healthy and well taken care of environment that benefits the animals. Actually, that is one of the reasons people see animal captivity as a helpful thing. There are many reasons that others may see this as a good thing. One of the more selfish reasons is actually attending these zoos and other places. It's a way to see the animals up close without having to actually go to their habitat in the rainforest or jungle. It is entertaining and can put a smile on so many faces. Some of these animals also might have been put into these institutions on the benefit for the animal's health purposes. And with the human want for animal products and even trophy hunting in general, many of these animals' environments are too dangerous for them to go back to, and the zoos keep them safer in there than out there. And according to the New York Times upfront, zoos are a safe haven from poaching, habitat loss, climate change, and disease. Zoos provide protected space for these animals where we can study them and work to minimize the threats, with the ultimate goal of returning endangered species to wild spaces. As it is said, as in some zoos are becoming the best bet towards keeping these animals alive. But the main problem is that so many of these people fake advertise their conservation efforts. They put a lot of their money isn't even going towards the conservation and is used for other projects. We have to protect them from what we have created. And an easy solution to do so is just by not giving money to these companies that exploit animals for their own profit. SeaWorld's admission rate and stocks have plummeted drastically ever since the release of the popular documentary Blackfish. The documentary mainly focused on the beloved orca Tilikum, who killed 3 people, and also put the spotlight on how these parks neglectfully treat these animals. Another way to get more involved is protesting. Sure, it can be a scary thought. The thought of protesting is automatically synonymous with posters on sticks and the fear of getting arrested. But there are so many other ways to protest. Just by writing a letter to your local government official, or to writing letters to your local zoos and circuses. Even by sharing these facts or by doing some of your own research to be better educated on the matter can help. And social actions are the most effective ways to make these kinds of changes happen. With the response to the documentary, change really did occur. It took tons of people to get all riled up on an issue that we can all get behind: the safety and well-being of animals. After Blackfish and the backlash that SeaWorld faced, they finally ended their killer whale show. But sadly, after, so many wonderful creatures still died after the years of mistreatment that they were faced. Nonetheless, it was still a victory to many animal activist groups. Along with that, many other countries have also banned the use of wild animals in shows such as the circus. So progress has been made, but it should not take the lives of more helpless animals to create the change that they need. So please, do not support any corporations that have a history of mistreating animals. Please don't visit zoos and circuses, and find your entertainment somewhere else. These animals need a safer environment than what we are giving them. With even just a little change, we can give these animals an amazing future without captivity.